Are you guys allowed to make it easy, or does it got to be this way? That's six wins in a row, all by 4 or fewer. Just finding a way again on the road today.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, I've had to say it after every game the last few weeks, but when you look at the beginning of our season with the loss at Arkansas, the and 1-3 against Oklahoma, the buzzer beater against Minnesota, like we've been on the opposite end of these close games, and I think as tough as it is in those moments, when you look at the bigger picture, it gets you ready for games like this. But I mean, I'm just so proud of my teammates for how far we've come this year in terms of just sticking together. When we're up, when we're down, everyone just stays together.
Can you go ahead? Sorry, I'll get to you, Andrew. That road game at Indiana kind of felt like a big 3 game, right? And then this last game at Purdue was kind of a bench game with you guys outscoring them 21-0. This kind of felt like everybody did something at a given point today. Can you just speak to?
That's something that we take pride of. Like we have so many guys who can contribute on a high level. And these guys show up again. He played great, and when LG needed to come and make an impact, he did it. So it's like it's a team effort, and we take pride of like being a team. Team that identity is a team.
What can you both of you guys say about Roddy? Kind of what his mindset coming into this game, and then how he performed.
Of course, I mean obviously a lot of the storylines coming into the game were Roddy Gale and transferring, and in today's day and age you see it more often than not, and I'm sure it's going to be even more of a recurring theme. But I mean, Roddy is just the ultimate competitor. He's the ultimate teammate, and I think this game meant more for him than anyone else. I mean, he went to war with those guys just like he did us, and when you have, I don't even know how many seats this stadium seats, but 15, 18, 20,000, whatever it is, but when they're all chanting obscenities and obscurities about a person, and behind the scenes, you guys don't even know what goes on, but I'm just so proud of Roddy. He's just stuck with it. Obviously had a few tough games. He kind of came out of a shell against Purdue, and I mean, even tonight, just huge plays down the stretch, and so happy and so proud of him.
When you looked at Ohio State's front court, what sort of advantages? I know you have a lot of advantages no matter who you play, but when you look at this matchup, what did you like about? What did you guys like about the matchup that you had, and how do you think you were able to take advantage of it?
I think the coaches just, before we go into every game, we don't know how they're going to play us, and I think we kind of use the first few possessions to try to get a grasp of that. And I had an early turnover. I'm just trying to feel out their defense, and that was my only turnover of the game. But I think we just kind of did what the coaches wanted us to do, and they had a really great game plan, and they trusted me with the ball in my hands, and I just tried to make the right play down the stretch. And I mean, it just goes so much further than the two of us. It's just the surrounding cast that really makes it go. But just so proud of everyone.
For Danny and Vlad, I mean, this is your guys' first taste of rivalry game. I guess, is this what you expected in the rivalry game?
Yes, it was a great environment. Like everybody was chanting, so it's a great crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a Michigan fan. Obviously, I think just deep down this game meant a lot to me. Just coming into here and just seeing, Michigan Ohio State's one of the greatest rivalries in all sports, and yeah, I mean, it's just my teammates played so hard, and no one splintered, and we all just stuck together on the stretch, and we were able to come away with a very big win. Yeah.
And Ohio State, they kept going back to what you just said. Ohio State kept putting pressure on you guys late. I guess why doesn't this team kind of break or fold in those 10 months down the stretch?
Probably because we already have played several games when it's a one possession game, and it's something that at some point we all need to be able to trust to each other and trust to what we do and stick to the plan.
Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we've again been on the opposite side of the string. I mean, we've had brutal losses, but I think it's the moments in the locker room, it's the moments in the facilities, the days following those games where it's really builds character. I mean, no one wants to even think about what happened, but you really got to. And the film stinks after those games, but it just builds you for games like these. And going into the facility tomorrow and just hanging out with everyone, it's just so much better of a feeling, and you just got to weather those storms. I mean, everyone goes through them at some point or not, and for us, I'm happy that we had that few stretch of games early on, and just got to keep going at it and keep putting our foot in the pedal.
Okay, guys, appreciate your time.
One more for the players. Sorry, guys. If we don't get you before Michigan State, we will. Yeah. Okay. And we'll talk to you then.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Coach, thoughts on the game?
Yeah, if you guys are gonna put me in with those two guys, I'd like a booster seat time, if you don't mind, next time.
You got it.
Just, we had so many guys contribute to this win, and you heard the humility from those guys, that they obviously played a starring role tonight and they made play after play. But they're also appreciative of the screens and the cutting and the plays that their teammates make, the shooters being threats where it changes spacing. But what a great college basketball game. Ohio State made play after play. And obviously Royal was phenomenal. And then Mobley and Thornton, they gave us everything that we asked for, everything that we wanted. They were good. I mean, and for us to win the shot battle, to have a manageable amount of turnovers, and even our turnovers tonight, it's been our Achilles heel, but I thought several of them when we played good basketball and maybe got it all stripped in the paint. And so those are the ones that will live with dunks or layups. So we didn't have very many unforced turnovers tonight. And it was a physical game. It was, I think Ohio State's without a doubt an NCAA tournament team. So it's two heavyweights battling it out, going hit for hit, round for round. And fortunately, we made the plays when we needed to.
Tony?
Yeah, Dusty, I want to start where you started, about just so many guys making plays. I said to the guys who just left, in Indiana, it was kind of an area, or a big 3 game. The last game was a bench game, 21-0. You just said, I mean, it felt like everybody did something at some point today.
No question. I thought all the guys, Reuben Jones, stat line, 8 points, 100% from the field. Thought his defense he was physical, he was aggressive. Roddy had 8 rebounds. Namari made one of the biggest shots of the game, I think at the 4-minute time, between 8 and 4 minutes. Trey didn't have one of his better games, but he's the one that got, when we were weathering a storm in the second half, he was the one that was getting downhill, putting pressure on the rim. So obviously they're all not going to be at their best, and then LJ Kaysen on the offensive side brought a real boost, and then Will Cheddar did what he does almost every game. So I can go down, we're winning these games because it's a complete team effort, and the bond and relationship that our guys have in the locker room carries over in between the lines.
Andrew?
Dusty, just for Roddy to have what turned out to be the game-winning baskets, I guess can you speak on that? And was the play designed for him specifically?
That was option 1.
Yeah.
We felt like we had been riding Danny, and just as if we're coming out of timeouts anticipating what we might see, we felt like they were going to do something, whether it was trap Danny or whatever the case. They were going to do something out of a timeout to take away what had been our bread and butter. And so we tried to create an advantage for Roddy getting downhill, and he made a big time play.
Jonathan?
LJ, kind of similar to against Purdue, just a few minutes, but like big spark, like you called it. Can you talk about how important he was?
Same thing. I mean, he's a freshman, and for a freshman to do what Mobley's doing in this league is incredibly impressive. So for LJ to stay ready and stay composed on the offensive side of the ball, he's a impactful player every time he checks in, because he can get wherever he needs to get to. He can shoot the basketball, and he can really get to loose basketballs. As one of our coaches on our staff says, he's a retriever. He gets the ball. So we don't win this game without the contributions of everyone that checked in.
Yeah, you've said in the past that kind of the scout is out on the 4-5 ball screen, but tonight Wolf had 17-11, Goldin 20-10. I think Danny had 4 assists to Vlad. How have you seen them kind of adapt to people really expecting it, and like why were they able to really break through today together?
Every team has different personnel that can allow and force certain things to happen. Purdue can't do certain things that Ohio State can do, and Ohio State can't do certain things that Michigan State, and on that, and we can't do certain things that Wisconsin can do. So there's a lot of factors. I'd rather not give my opinion of why it worked tonight, other than just great personnel awareness and selflessness by our group of players.
Dusty, with you and Jake both being in your first years at your respective universities, it seems like it could be the start of some pretty interesting battles here in the next couple of years. What is it like, I guess, to be sitting here and thinking how this game unfolded, and to think this might be the first of maybe a new era of this rivalry?
Well, I anticipate every single game being like this, hard fought till the very end, with great support from the fans, with great interest throughout college basketball. It's a big game, and I don't want to speak for Coach Diebler because we haven't talked about it since our Big Ten meetings, but he came up last year when we had we were in California in Big Ten country for our Big Ten meetings, and he said, hey, are you good with let's try to do this where we play home and home every year. going forward. That way, it's obviously it's hard because it's 2 rivalry games versus 1, but it's what's good for the game. It's what's good for the sport. It's what's good for our players. It's less travel. It's big for TV. It's big for our fan bases. So we both agreed that even though it might not be as fun as it could be, it's a gut-wrenching preparation and anticipation for the game because of how much it means. But we both agreed that going forward, we'd like for that to happen. I don't know if we can do a quick flip next year, if it happens the year after that. But yeah, we both requested that from the league. So it was it was a lot of fun competing against those guys because we have a lot of respect. They, like us, they played an incredibly difficult schedule, which has prepared them for Big Ten play. And then they're a much better team now than they were 6 weeks ago. Much better basketball team. And I looked at a couple texts from coaches that have played them earlier, and they said, wow, they've improved. So that's probably the most difficult thing to do in today's climate is to keep a team together, fighting like crazy together, and then have them improve as you go through this long, grueling season of college basketball, especially in the Big Ten Conference.
Take a couple more, Tony.
Yeah, Dusty, where would you say, I mean, we could hear it from down here, everybody chanting Roddy's name in the locker room. Where does that moment sort of rank for you this year? And just speak to, if you can, everything he dealt with today, this weekend.
It's obviously tough. If you step in that arena now as a modern athlete, there's certain things that come with it. As a coach, there's certain things that just, it's a part of it. And it's more difficult on people that are great human beings like Roddy Gill. And he's a basketball player. He's a son. He's a brother. I mean, he's a lot of things other than just a Michigan or Ohio State basketball player. So obviously it's tough at that age, but it's part of it. And he handled this situation with grace, with dignity, with class. And he played a really good basketball game in a tough environment. And he'll be better for this because he powered through it.
Coach, I think that's going to do it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Dusty.